What's going on, everybody? I apologize if anyone saw the 9:30 thumbnail that I was going to start at 9:30. That was my every intent. It has been a long day. First of all, there was about 10 hours of traveling. I missed the train again that I was supposed to catch, and I couldn't wait another hour. I had to take another Uber. Then, when I finally settled in, and I was like, all right, now I know I have a clear block of time to be able to do this live. Something else happens right before the live starts. Like as soon as I come back to New York, it's always problems. I'm ready to not be in New York. I can say that. Ready for that to happen. There's some things that I love about New York. I mean, I love the fact that the stores are always open. There's endless amounts of things to do. There's lots of activities. There's lots of entertainment. Like you guys see, one of my favorite things to do has become going to like these challenge and Big Brother things. But to live here 24/7, 365 days a year is getting to be much. But enough about that. What I came here to talk about was actually the power of veto and, things that I have observed. Like, as I said, I've been traveling, so it's not like I've been sitting here and really watching the feeds. There was only one night. I think it was Friday night and a little bit of Saturday night where I've actually really been sitting and watching the feeds. And the rest of the time, thank goodness for Twitter, because I've been catching up with the little clips on Twitter. And again, I'm upset that Paramount Plus took away the replays, because the replays were clutch for me last year. Hi, Edward. So the power of veto, there was a lot of different talks going on, but all the talks were Angela trying to make power plays, Angela and Tucker, because we knew, especially after the argument and especially considering the fact that Angela, it's hard to watch feeds when you're busy at work and school. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm not in school, but I get it. My work is a lot, and the things in my life are a lot right now at the moment. But yeah, so basically, I knew Angela was going to end up putting up Matt. But for some reason, she's like, I want to talk to Matt. She did this like fake apology to Matt for the rant that she went on. And then she was like, oh, well, if you find somebody else to put on the block instead of you, and that person agrees and comes to me and agrees that they're going to go on the block, then I'm going to put that person on the block instead of you. So he actually got people to verbally agree, T-Core and also Tucker. And T-Core had actually gone to Angela and told Angela that she was willing to be a pawn. Tucker was faking. Obviously, we knew that Tucker was faking. I don't know why they're doing so much. Like, this is my whole thing. I don't understand why they're doing so much. Matt is the primary target. They have the majority of the votes. Why are they doing all this mess to accomplish what they want to accomplish? You would think that Matt, at this point in time in the game, is like Michael of BB24 with the way that they're acting. Like, he would be that hard to eliminate from the game. Hold on one second. Thirsty. They're acting like Matt is so hard to eliminate from the game that they have to come up with these elaborate schemes instead of just flat out being like, you're the replacement, Nam. It's obvious that Angela doesn't like him. But they're like, oh, well, let's make Matt go around the house and grab some people and have him get those people to come to me and tell me that they're willing to go up instead of him, so that I can know how much power that he has in the house. If he's not in the house anymore, why does it matter who's loyal to him? I don't see the logic behind this. You have the numbers. Most of the people in there are willing to vote Matt to go home, but yet you're doing so much. This is going to be the most epic blindside ever. Like, do y'all even know what a blindside is? I mean, I guess they somewhat blindsided him, but it's not like it was an Amira blindside where he just totally couldn't see it coming. It's like it's giving me BB25. It's giving me Riley. That's what I'm feeling like with Big Brother 26 right now. We're so early in the game and they're doing so much. Then there's this conversation that Angela has with Kenny afterwards, where she's like, oh, you got to fight for your life in this AI comp. And he was like, honestly, I don't feel that way. He was like, I like Matt. I don't have any desire to fight against him. It's like, he's like a son to me. And she was livid at that. She was livid at that because there was potential. I guess he was hinting at potential to throw it to Matt if he could. And he was like, she was like, oh, you got to fight for your life. And he was just like, this is not my life. It's like, I got a wife and kids at home. Like, I miss them. This is not my life. And she was like, she went on this rant. And he's like, I haven't raised my voice this whole time. That's why I like Kenny. As, I guess, a former police officer, he's probably used to having people in those exact type of situations with him where they're yelling at him. And he kept his cool. And he was like, I have not raised my voice once at one person in here because we know what she said about Matt and raising his voice. And you know how I feel about that now that I've seen the actual clip. They say what to get brownie points? I missed the part that you're talking about, Edward. Yeah, so I'm like, you guys are people come in this game, like someone like Angela, and even to an extent Tucker. I think Frenchie, I think Daniel Durston, I think season 16 Devin. There's people who come in the game to make a name for themselves. And I don't mean like I want to be the best Big Brother winner of all time. It's like I want to be the biggest Big Brother character or personality, or I want to top this moment, or I want to create this classic moment. I felt like Jag was like that last year, because remember when he was talking about they were comparing themselves to the Hitman. Oh, like where do we rank amongst great duos? Like, yeah, y'all comped out, but in 25 years from now, if the show still exists, or even if it doesn't exist, and people who just watched it before are talking about it historically, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, I remember Matt and Jag is one of the top 5 duos. Like when you try to create that stuff, it just doesn't work. You can create drama. You can create tension. You can create things that will produce you airtime for sure, but then you're going to be out. I think like it reminds me almost of when Mama Felicia she won her HOH. It reminds me of that. Mama Felicia was just going around power tripping, and then it was just like, you only get 1 week. Now, theoretically, yes, Tucker could win next week, and we could go through this whole thing all over again with Tucker in power. But he has a 2 in 15 chance of doing so. He has a 1 in 15 chance of doing so. I'm sorry, the math wasn't mathing there. Said that they're loyal fans of the show but yet they don't act like it. And then I find that like sometimes even people who actually know the show, they understand the show, or they've watched the show. I shouldn't even say understand, because watching is not the same thing as having a comprehension of how to play the game. Like I can sit here and watch Jeopardy. I can sit here and watch whatever game show is out there every day, and then I can get on the game show and be a total dud. But who would have expected that it's the older player that is the one causing all the chaos and the drama? You would have probably thought that it was one of the younger players that's starting the drama. You would have thought that it's a younger player that's being involved in most of the chaos. Hi, Lisa. But yet, it has been the Angela show. And when Angela doesn't have power next week, it's going to be interesting. We have multiple potential things in play. We have the power that Mackenzie has, MJ. We have the power that Quinn has. I don't know if there's more powers that are unknown about, and we have the AI comp. So nobody should feel safe and comfortable in the house. Thought it was just going to be me and Mark, and I'm doing very well. Yeah, I was actually, like I said at the beginning of this, I was planning to do this at 9:30. Of course, circumstances beyond my control happened right before 9:30. This has happened 2 times this year, this season, but it's not anybody here's fault. That's one thing about me. Even at work, which this is somewhat of work, when things happen and I have something to deliver, or I have something that I have promised to somebody, I do my best to deliver it anyways, and it is what it is sometimes. Life is like that. One of these days, I'm going to have, like, hopefully, a podcast room or something. And then I'm going to set my schedule to everyone, like, do not disturb during this time to this time, unless it's an emergency. Obviously, in a real emergency circumstance, then I would drop whatever I was doing here, because it's not mandatory. But in an avoidable, I can't even call it an emergency, but like in an avoidable circumstance, yeah, doesn't make me happy. And I've had a few of them over the past 2 years. I've had a few of them. And again, I know that has nothing to do with the show, but honestly, like, I can't always just compartmentalize show and life, because sometimes life is lifing. So the show is like background noise at times. Hi, Tasha. Now, Lisa has this moment. So everybody is talking about their careers or potential careers, and this is just something that is usually done. Yeah, Edward. I saw that he gave her a, what did he do? He massaged her shoulders earlier. I 100% want to do a podcast. The podcast probably wouldn't be on reality TV, though. It would probably be like a podcast about, my mental health topics, most likely. That's a goal of mine. Maybe I need to start doing a little bit of research and just figuring out what it takes to get that done. I have a decent mic. Maybe it's just getting the topics together. I have a podcast. I just have not put anything on there in a long time, but I have like 2 or 3 podcasts. I actually have multiple podcasts. Oh yeah, so what I was saying was I was talking about Lisa and how so every season there's usually conversations that take place about who potentially does what. This is common. I don't know if Lisa's a Big Brother fan, but this is very common where they're like, I think this person's a lawyer. I think this person is a doctor. I think this person is an astronaut. I think this person swings on a stripper pole. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, they just make guesses and it's like a fun thing to do to kill time. So Lisa is talking to Matt and Matt's like, did you hear that? She's like, yeah. She gets up and walks over there. If anyone has anything to say about me, you better say it to my face. If you don't think my career is real or if you have questions to ask me. And I was like, Lisa, did they spike the drinks tonight or today? Because this was nothing to confront anybody about. Like I can distinctly remember on BB23 when when Big D kept saying, I think X is a lawyer. I think X is a lawyer. In the diary room, X was like, this is not good that he keeps saying he thinks I'm a lawyer. But when he was saying it, he wasn't like, I'm not a lawyer. Are you serious? I told you I'm a bartender and a model. You got something to say it to my face. Like, because that just makes it hot. At that point, even if your career was 1,000% legitimate, I would be skeptical just off of your reaction alone. And then it showed like Brooklyn and a couple of other people, a couple of the other ladies that were there talking about it later and basically saying what I'm saying here, where they're like, what was with that? That was weird. Hi, Ma. If I ever go on Brother, which I won't, my fake profession will be a stripper. Has anyone ever gone on Big Brother and said that that's their profession? What's up, my man? Are you gonna tell him, or am I? I'm telling you, it's the profile picture. Lisa said she wouldn't react like Angela did. Lisa on the show. I assume you're talking about Lisa from the show said that. She wouldn't have reacted to Matt that way. Yeah, she has shown that she had her own reaction and it was for a lesser thing. So obviously a lawyer. Not that I remember. I know people have used motto because I just said Xavier. So I know people have used motto and bartender a lot, but I don't think that anyone has used stripper. However, Blue said that she was a stripper last season. She didn't say that that was her profession, but that was something that she spoke about on the live feeds. I also said that for the record. I don't know who Merc is, but Ma's asking Merc, do you realize I go by all pronouns, right? I would be a hairdresser. Yeah, but are you aware that when people call you a man, it's not because they know what your pronouns are, it's because they think you're a man. I would be a hairdresser. I'm trying to think of what I would be. Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I could just go with counselor, and that's actually like, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be super smart to be a counselor. You just have to be empathetic. Like if it was a psychiatrist or a licensed social worker, that's another thing. But if I just said I was a peer counselor slash mentor, I think I could go with my actual profession and be good. Tucker is working on getting MJ on his side. Is it working though? Because Tucker is talking always. So I don't, when you say working on, I don't know if that actually means it's working or if he's just talking. Because if there's one thing Tucker is going to do, it's talk. That's Tucker's middle name. He's TT. Tucker Talker. That's what I'm calling him from now on. Tucker the Talker. I would say I work at a grocery store. I understand saying that, like, because if you're like, oh, I work at a grocery store, you know what? It's funny about, I'm thinking about that, Edward. Saying you work at a grocery store is non-threatening. It's easy to explain, even if you have not worked in a grocery store, because it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I don't even have to work in a grocery store to have an explanation of working in a grocery store. So that's a decent one. I like when people think I'm masculine. I'd stick with my dance and drama teaching too. Chocolate. Reporting for duty, huh? True about Tucker. Life coach. Yeah, well, I would be iffy about using life coach. I have a life coaching certification, and there are like a couple of clients that I have. But I think that they would be like, life coach, so he's influential and manipulative. I just feel like they would say that. Oh, and also I would have to make sure to gain about 20 to 30 pounds before I go in there and stop lifting weights. It might impact me in a couple of physical competitions. No, that's not true, because look what Xavier did. Xavier just acted like he was bad at comps until the end. Then he crushed everybody. They can call me whatever they want. It does not make it my name. Interesting. I work at McDonald's. If I was to go on BB, which would probably never happen, I would want to get to know everybody's stage instead of jumping into, oh, I would want to be, I get what you're saying. You'd want to be in the get to know everybody stage. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Big Brother, I feel like the last couple of years is watching a bunch of checkers players playing chess. Because like in the game of chess, I've played, have you, like, I don't know if you're either very good at playing chess or you've played someone who's very good at playing chess. I learned how to play chess when I was young, very young, like 3-4 years old. I knew how to play chess. I knew how to move all the different pieces on the board. Knowing how to move the pieces on the board actually is just knowing the rules of chess. So I knew how to play the game in a sense of I know where the pieces go, right? And I know how many times, where they can move, where the knight goes, and how the queen and the king moves and all that stuff. But I would be pretty good against, you know, my contemporaries, my classmates, my family in my house. But I remember the first time I went up against a really good chess player. And I'm just going along. Oh, knocked off this piece, knocked off this piece. I'm looking at the board. I'm like, I'm in control of this board. because I'm looking and I'm like, I have probably 6 to 8 more pieces on this board than you do. I wasn't saying that. I was just thinking to myself, you're a good chess player and you're losing to me. So then a few moves later, this one goes here, this one goes over here, this goes over here, and that goes over there. And then he's like, checkmate. I'm looking at the board and I'm like, checkmate? No, because I can move this here. No. I must have looked at that board for like 10 minutes because I just didn't believe that I was checkmated because I was looking at the board. I thought I had a grasp of everything around me. But a chess player doesn't play for the next available piece. Like they can see that piece on the board. Oh, I can knock off that pawn right now and you're going to have one less piece. No, but the pawn is not the piece that I need off the board right now. Let me move the pawn. Let me leave the pawn where it is to set myself up to take out this knight. And then the point of what I'm saying is that they play, the best players for Big Brother are playing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves ahead. Angela's not doing that. Angela's playing for like a week at the most. Like if I have Tucker win HOH next week, I'm good. If anyone else wins, it's a free-for-all. Anything can happen. And I think they would throw her in on a backdoor. They would definitely do a backdoor because somebody like Angela and what they've seen her do already, they're not going to want her sitting in the house screaming at them if they put her up. If somebody said they worked in the grocery, I guess so. I guess. Yeah, maybe it would be good to combine it with something like I'm doing this for now, especially if it's somebody who's like 30 and up. And I'm not saying, I know people 30 and up who work in grocery stores. As a matter of fact, I did Instacart a few years ago, for some extra money. But it's hard to support yourself on a grocery store salary. So unless you're living at home, I think that you probably would have to add something to it. I agree with that. Hi, DJ. Good point. Yeah, you're gonna work on that for your imaginary Big Brother game. I still want to create. I can't call it Big Brother, obviously, because Big Brother is serious. CBS is serious with their name and likeness, but I would love to do something where I have like one day of games and like 8 competitors, and it's just maybe 24 to 48 hours, and just turn it into a web series. Throw it on there in between the time when all my shows are off. I would just love to do something like that. I have to figure it out. I keep talking about that every year, but hi, Cass. For you, does anyone? It is. I would say that this year I have to give them credit. Last year, I would say they're getting stale. This year, I think with these different twists and the AI thing, I think that they're actually doing quite a bit to try to make different outcomes. Because look, we already have so many different options. Now they were like, instead of 2 people on the block, there's going to be 3 people on the block. There's going to be a regular veto, and then there's this America's veto. Then they have the I forgot what it's called, but that HOH thing, like that secret HOH thing that Quinn won. Yeah, they're switching and mixing things up, and then they made the first competition. I guess it's somewhat like things that they've done before, but I think they intentionally made that first HOH comp something that anybody could win. It reminds me a little bit of when they did, I don't remember, was it like curling type of thing? They've had many things like that type of one, but that is not a thing that only somebody strong and fast can win. In fact, being strong and fast is not even a benefit. It's not a benefit or a disadvantage. Anyone could have won. I think they're trying to be different every year. Last season felt like, I think the writer's strike affected last season, honestly. I really do. Because that was one of the worst seasons that I've watched since I started watching Big Brother. I'm watching the live feeds while I'm. What are they talking about right now, Edward? I don't have it on. But that's only because I'm only going to be on here till 11. So I got another 17 minutes. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the AI comp works. She definitely is going to need a BB miracle. She's got 2 weeks. She's got 2 weeks, and that's depending on who wins HOH. She has an enemy if Kenny stays. BB is just like Survivor. No, I don't think that it's like Survivor. It has Survivor elements. Just like the challenge. The challenge has a little bit of Survivor and Big Brother elements to it. But Survivor competitions are way different. They're all physical. All physical comps. But I mentioned this yesterday, I think, that they're making Big Brother a little bit more like Survivor in terms of giving people multiple different ways to stay in the game. You know how Survivor has idols. This is not necessarily idols, but it's something where it's like, okay, it's not cut and dry. Like, all right, you go to tribunal, and then it's like, these are the people that you want out. Majority gets them out, and there's no other option. Like the shot in the dark, and then somebody possibly winning an idol and being able to use it. I feel like Big Brother is going for that a little bit. Everyone who works in grocery stores either under 18 or over 50. CBS is gonna get me. CBS already did. I have a channel strike because of CBS. That's why you will never see a live feed on this page, even though I did show like couple seconds of live feed, but you'll never see like a full volume up live feed on here ever. A video game, what, like I guess they could do that. That would be kind of interesting. I don't think she has a good chance of sticking around, and I don't think it would be good for her to for them to leave her in there. I saw that. I mean, I didn't see it, but I watched a little bit of it. I just wasn't interested enough, to be honest. But was it good? Beastie. Interesting. Oh, you just found this channel? So, since you are the first, since you just found this channel, because I think I'm so used to most of the people on here, if you don't mind, how did you find the channel? I assume randomly, algorithm, eh? And where are you from? And also, everyone in the chat, please give DJ a wave. Please and thank you. Oh, I forgot about that. Like and subscribe. Check out Mozcast channel 2. All right. No, I haven't been here. Oh, in your time zone. Nope. 11 o'clock in my time zone, which is in 13 minutes. Intergalactic planetary. Yeah, I'm not reading these. It looks like Leah is outside having a fun chat outside, and also Mackenzie and Tucker chilling in the Terrence. Yeah, Leah is one of the few fun ones on this cast. And Cedric. Cedric is funny. Survivor has public equal puzzle equalizers too. Can you just imagine now with BB26 if they made a video game? You could have every BB. Oh, that would be kind of cool. CBS. Let me tell you something. I don't know what it is about CBS that maybe they're just so confident in their show that they're like, we don't have to advertise, we don't have to do anything in the off season. Like this thing that Aza throws, the Big Brother parties that she throws in New York, Michigan, LA, like a couple other places that she's thrown them before. That has nothing to do with CBS. She probably had to get it cleared with CBS, but she throws that on her own. Like CBS doesn't have events in the off season. They're like, let's just put these people in this house for 3 months and then not talk about Big Brother for 9 months, with the exception of reindeer games or if they have celebrity Big Brother once in a while. But aside from that, it's just when the season's on, it's on, and when it's off, it's off. I don't understand. They don't have merchandise, like their page isn't active. Julie just goes into full God 101 mode. I found this channel with the topic BB updates from Midwest. Oh, okay. That's what's up. I used to live in the Midwest. I did school in Michigan. I was there for 4 years in college. That would be a cool idea. Sims matched with game show. She's crafty. I see Tikor, Chemo, Kenny, and a few others in the kitchen. You know what? I like the nighttime conversations. Like the conversations right now at 7:48 Pacific time, when there's like 4 or 5 of them talking, I'm like, that's okay. What I love is when we get to 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it's like two of them or 3 of them, 2 to 3 of them, because that's when they really get to business. These earlier conversations, if there's like 5 people together, let's say 2 or 3 of them are going to be close, and they're not really going to have that full conversation. Wyman stealing. Or Paul Revere. Funky Monkey. Yeah, so that's all I got for right now. Let me see. Usually I have the feeds kind of in the background, but like I said, I was dealing with some stuff right before I got on here. So I was like, I'm late, but I would rather throw something on versus not doing a live at all. And tomorrow I'm back to work. Work is kind of destroying my life at this stage. I like the nighttime combos too. Too bad I can't stay awake for them. I don't stay awake for them either, but I wake up. If I wake up, that's the thing. I chronically fall asleep and then wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning almost every night. So normally I'll just turn on some music and just toss and turn in bed for a little bit until I fall back asleep. But when the Big Brother season is on, I'm like, I can always watch Big Brother, and then I get caught up. The chat is active today. Why is there a random ladder in your kitchen? So I can climb up to the fire escape. Are you inviting DJ Ma? No, maybe. Hi, Zinzi. Did you make your early prediction? I didn't make a prediction on a winner. We have a draft though. Like some of us that are in this Discord have a draft, and my first pick was Quinn. It's still early to say, but I like where Quinn stands in the game right now. Yeah, I watched the video of her on The Price is Right, and then she was also on Dr. Phil. Was it Dr. Phil? Yeah, I think it was Dr. Phil and The Price is Right. People are like, she's a CBS plant, but I don't know if she's a CBS plant, but it clearly shows that she's been trying to get on TV, or she's been on TV, and since they already have her in their like roster, yeah. Mine was Kenny. I mean, Kenny's not out of the game just yet. Although some people did not like Kenny's reaction to what Angela was saying. Like Quinn got out of there and felt like Kenny was throwing his game away for Matt. Tucker and Chemo in the green grid room. I'm getting bullied by the BB gods. And she looked dramatic in that clip that I saw too. What were they talking about? I hope it wasn't rock, paper, scissors. I hope they were not talking about rock, paper, scissors. All right, y'all. Any last words in my last 5 to 6 minutes? So this year we are back on the regular schedule to an extent, because last year, if you remember, we were Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday rather than Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I guess Tuesday, we already had the veto competition. Is the AI competition on eviction night? Because people keep saying right before eviction. So do they have this AI comp on Thursday? And also, is this an ongoing thing all season, or is AI weeks 1 to 4? Oh God, if there was 2 of them, shoot, that would be wild. Oh, they were talking about the vote. Okay. Kind of keeps the week interesting. Yeah. I like all the twists because of last season. If this was a few years ago, I would have been like, you're doing too much. But after last season, I even said that to some of the cast when I met, especially when I was speaking to America about that. And I was speaking to Mama Fee. And who else? I think that was the only 2, Corey a little bit, but America and Mama Fee in particular, and maybe Blue just a little bit. I was talking to them about how much I didn't like how predictable the last few weeks of the season were going. So this takes away some of that predictability. So I like it. You wish the house guests had better communication. Let's talk about communication. I'm not going to be able to summarize this in 5 minutes, so you can thank Ma for that. But I'm going to try my best to summarize this in 10 minutes or less. The conversation that took place between Angela and Matt that they showed on TV. Yeah, I would say so. It's been given. It's been action packed. Brooklyn until she entered the house. Just like I got the impression that Tucker was going to be fun and funny until he started speaking. But yeah, communication. This was going to be a separate video, so excuse me for making this the end of this video with the communication. So there was a conversation that took place between Angela and Matt a couple days ago, whatever it was, 2 to 3 days ago. Angela interpreted it her way, and Matt interpreted it his way. They left the conversation. I think, at least on Matt's end, he thought that they were square and everything was clear. Angela felt like she was threatened, that it was aggressive. Here's the thing. At first, I was like, she's just flat out lying and gaming. But in thinking more about it, in the profession that I've been in for the majority of the past 12 years, I see this kind of thing all the time. Somebody says one thing, somebody else interprets it another way. They don't tell them, hey, when you said that to me, I felt threatened and intimidated. And then they go back and they think about it. Then when they think about it some more and they stew on it, then they start to get upset about it. Like, you know what? I feel like this is the way that this conversation went. Then she goes to another room. She talks to Tucker. She talks to whoever else she talks to. This is what was said. This is what he said. This is what I said. And this is, this is how it happened. And this is what it is. None of those people that she's talking to are in the room. But they're all like, I'm sorry, Angela. Give me a hug. I love you. You should never have been spoken to like that. They're validating it. So still, you haven't gone to the party who actually was speaking to you in a way that you didn't like. But you have validation of all these other people who just automatically went with it and automatically believed it, right? So then she goes to bed after having these conversations. She gets up and she prepares herself for this confrontation. I'm going to say this stuff. Now, in the background, there was underlying stereotypes and ways that she felt about him before they even got into that conversation, which probably fed her feeling like things that she might have been able to give him the benefit of the doubt for, she didn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt. So she gets into that conversation with him. You threatened me, you verbally threatened me, and you intimidated me. Crazy eyes. Yeah, crazy eyes. You're so arrogant and you're this and you're that. Some of the things that she said were just things that she just thinks about him, not based on that one conversation, things that she thinks about him overall. But the point of the matter is all of that was avoidable and unnecessary, because I'm not even saying she had to come up with what to say to him in the moment, because in the moment when two people are having a conflict, you can't always think of how you feel. Because I feel like people who are great communicators, which is not many people, to be honest with you, they will have this discussion, whether it's a heated discussion, an argument, a debate, or whatever, and then they will come to a conclusion at the end, right? But that doesn't mean that that's solidified. Like, this is just, you feel great about this, right? It could be a case where you go home, or in this case, they're all living in the same home. So you go to your room, you sleep on it, you wake up, and then you feel differently, or you feel like, I didn't get in everything that I wanted to say, or the way that I think that it went is like this, and I don't like that, right? So you can go back and revisit the conversation. I think it would have been a good idea for Angela to revisit that conversation with Matt, not with everybody else in the house. And then when you're in a big brother house, there's gameplay factors into everything. So I think about gameplay when it comes to everything, apologies, all that kind of stuff. It's never going to come across as genuine if you don't go to the person directly, hash it out with them, and figure it out from there. So it was set up to fail from the start. And I'm saying all this like it's important to the average Big Brother fan. It's not, because everybody, whether they like Angela or whether they don't like Angela, loved the blow up. They loved the fact that it was dramatic and it gave so many quotes and it gave like memes and all that stuff. And trust me, I like it too, but I'm a little different. You'll learn that I'm a lot different actually than the average Big Brother fan, the average content creator for these social experiment shows. I like seeing people communicating in a healthy way. I do somewhat. I'm not gonna say that I don't enjoy when blow-ups happen, but I like when there's more genuine reasons behind those arguments, if that makes any sense to anybody. What did you miss? Only everything, but it's good to see you. You only missed everything. Show-wise, not a lot. I think so too. I think she misunderstood it and misinterpreted it and took it in a way that it wasn't intended. I do. I don't think she misunderstood. I think she saw that. I think it was a combination of both. I think she interpreted it wrong and also used it as ammo. I think it's a bit of both. You know what argument I think of as one of the most classic was, I can't remember his name. That guy who yelled at Rachel and called her an evil witch. After I turn this off, I'm going to look at that argument because that was hilarious to me. Yeah. All right, everybody. I am jumping off. Where are we at today? I'm going to need a new person since Mimi's time is over. I'm going to need a new person to soundbite. But until then,
I'm just like, these people are, I don't know if they're sane or if I'm sane. Like, I could be the crazy one.
All right, y'all. Take care and have an amazing.
You are now tuned in to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective.
What's up, family? It's Mimi from Big Brother Season 25, and you are now tuned in to Mindful Reality with Mark. I need for y'all to stop what you're doing and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe because the math ain't mathin', okay?